In today's video, you'll hear true stories from Reddit, where family drama, toxic coworkers, and masterful acts of revenge play out like scenes from a movie. From neighbors who don't know when to stop to colleagues who shamelessly steal credit to a brother-in-law who just wouldn't stop freeloading. Every story comes with an ending that's as satisfying as it is thought-provoking. And as always, this is True Reddit Stories, where every tale is a lesson, a twist, and sometimes a well-deserved slap in the face of shamelessness. Story 1. Husband turned straight after being drawn in by a new church. I had been with him for 5 years, married for 3. I thought I knew him inside and out. I thought our love was rock solid. But one day he came home and told me he had just found the light at a new church. At first I didn't think much of it. Everyone's entitled to their own beliefs. But within just a few weeks, the man I loved was gone. In his place was someone who looked at me as if I were the embodiment of evil. He started avoiding touching me. He said God has shown me the truth, that I was a temptation pulling him into sin. Then one day I happened to see the messages on his phone. They were with a woman from the church, and they weren't just God bless you. They were flirtatious, full of promises he had never once made to me, along with a few photos that definitely should not have existed. When I confronted him, he didn't apologize. On the contrary, he said I was trying to divide God's work. He declared that he was straight, that before he had only been led astray because I had seduced him. But what shocked me even more was how his entire family took his side. His mother called me a danger, and his father said I should return him to God. I was shut out of every family dinner, every gathering. Then the church held an exorcism for him and invited me to attend. Not to help me, but to humiliate me in front of everyone. They read aloud my sins, even implying that I had tried to destroy a man just to keep him. That night, I printed every message, every screenshot, and prepared a divorce petition. The next morning, I went straight to the church right as Sunday service had just ended. Before anyone could stop me, I walked to the front, placed the stack of papers right in front of him, and said, "This is how I set you free. I'm sure your God would be proud." No one said a word. And he just stood there frozen in his perfectly pressed suit, still holding his Bible. I walked out without looking back, and for the first time in months, I felt free. Story 2. The coworker who stole my ideas, and how I let her self-destruct. I work at a mid-sized marketing company. Nothing glamorous, nothing dramatic, until our department got a new star. She, let's call her Lana, showed up in high red heels wearing a smile that screamed, "I know I'm beautiful," and a LinkedIn profile longer than a novel. My boss immediately funneled all the prime projects to her as if the rest of us were just office decorations. At first I thought maybe she was actually talented, but then I realized something Lana didn't work. And I mean, not at all. She just supervised, which meant hovering over other people's desks, reading their ideas, nodding thoughtfully, and later presenting them to the boss as if they were her own. What burned me the most was that the boss believed her completely. Once I spent an entire week building a marketing campaign for a major client. On the day of the meeting, Lana sat up straight and began presenting. Every single sentence, every single word was mine. I looked over at the boss. He clapped and said, "Brilliant, Lana. You truly are an asset to this company." I wanted to throw my laptop at the wall, but instead of making a scene, I chose a different path. I started feeding Lana ideas that I knew would fail. A Facebook ads campaign targeting, an audience that didn't even exist, an email marketing strategy sending, the exact same blurry photo to thousands of clients. She swallowed it all. And then she presented it to the boss with the triumphant look of someone who just discovered the cure for cancer. The result: The first campaign was a complete disaster. The client was furious, and the contract was cut. The boss started getting suspicious. By the time the second campaign crashed and burned, he called Lana into a meeting. No one knew exactly what was said behind those closed doors, but when they opened, Lana walked out with red eyes and a cardboard box in her arms. She was fired on the spot, and I just sat at my desk sipping my coffee, staring out the window. Sometimes justice doesn't need to be loud. Story 3. My mooching brother-in-law wouldn't leave until I sent him the bill. When my sister got married, I was genuinely happy for her. Her husband, I'll call him Tom, seemed polite, decent, the kind of guy everyone thought would be easy to live with. But I quickly realized I was dead wrong. Just a few months after the wedding, Tom started staying at my place. His reasons were always so reasonable. My apartment's under renovation. I'm working near your house, so it's more convenient. My car's broken. I'll just crash here for the night and fix it tomorrow. Sound familiar? At first, I thought it would be just a week, but 1 week turned into a month, then 2. By the time I opened my fridge and found nothing but a few packs of instant noodles because Tom had eaten everything I bought, I realized I'd basically turned into a free hotel. What drove me insane was that Tom didn't contribute a single cent. No money for electricity, no money for water, not even a bottle of dish soap. In fact, he'd even bring his friends over to eat for free like my place was some kind of buffet. I talked to my sister about it. She just laughed it off. Come on, Tom's going through a rough time. Can't you be understanding? Understanding. I'm not a charity. So I decided to give Tom a little economics lesson. I printed out a detailed invoice. Room rent, electricity, water, food, even toilet paper. All added up to a number that would make anyone's jaw drop. That evening, while Tom was sprawled on the couch watching TV, I placed the bill right in front of him and said, "Starting tomorrow, you either pay or you move out." His face went pale. Without a word, he got up, went to the room, and started packing. Less than an hour later, Tom was gone from my house. My sister called me angry, saying I was not being family. But you know what? Ever since Tom left, my fridge has been full, my utility bills have dropped by half, and I've been sleeping better than ever. That's the end of today's 3 stories, each one proving a simple truth: when people think you'll keep putting up with their behavior, they'll keep pushing until you push back. Which story was your favorite? And if you were in that situation, what would you do? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss the next Reddit stories. I'll see you in the next video, where the drama will be bigger, the twists will be sharper, and the emotions just as raw as today.